Hey guys, welcome to another episode on the Myles Show. Today my friend is back again. You remember it from the last episode, and his name is Mosha. Kama unamkumbuka ni aje bro?
Fiti sana man.
Welcome back manze. So today we're gonna be discussing something very important, and it's something we love to talk about. And us as men, we find it very important to discuss and have this talk manze. Tuongeka wanaume, tuongeka vijana wanaume. Because how you can see, first and foremost, happy Men's Health Month. This is the month whereby you as a man, you should celebrate your health and also take care of your health more during this month. Because Babu, it's a month about you men and your health. So welcome back again to the episode. I'm your host, Myles Gicheru. Please tune in and enjoy as we're going to be discussing something very important. Today we're going to be discussing about masculinity crisis. I don't know if most of you know about it, but it's there and it has been there for decades. And Mosha here, my boy, we're gonna talk about this thing. And I'm gonna start by asking him how he understands what masculinity crisis is. So bro, do you know what masculinity crisis is?
Naweza jaribu.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so masculinity according to me is what the things you do, the characteristics you do, the things that you do to be perceived as a man. And by saying masculinity crisis is, I'll say like in these years, because of change in gender roles, change in gender norms, most men don't really know how to be men. And tuko na ugumu sana. Yani we are confused on how we are supposed to be like gentlemen and yeah, so I think for me the crisis, most of it is how we are not supposed. We don't continue to do our roles as men, and because some of the things we do are termed as toxic masculinity. Some of them they are not, some of them are. And on this crisis thing is we are confused. Most of us in this kwanza generation zetu hizi hatujui kuwa wanaume sana.
Okay. You have really actually tapped on something about toxic masculinity, and it's like you've read my mind, but it's something actually I also read about. Even actually sometimes people confuse toxic masculinity with a traditional man. When I say a traditional man, I mean this is like people like our fathers, our grandfathers, like kitambo, there used to be a role for us men to be a provider, to be a protector, to be those hata wewe mwenyewe unajua zile what you were being told ukilio naambiwa kwa mwanaume. See, so sometimes people confuse a traditional man whereby we had specific gender roles kitambo, but now since time is changing and right now we are in the 21st century and we are modern men, so the gender roles have changed because right now everyone can work. Everyone can work. Your wife can work, your girlfriend can work, you can work, like everyone is equal. Like hata wewe unaweza fika home kama umefika before bibi yako ama wife ama dem yako upike ama hizi pika.
Okay. Kenya nitasema is unajua venye unasema toxic masculinity kitambo manza angepika, si ndio?
Yeah.
Wewe ukigrow up ulikuwa unaona wazae sana wakipika, ilikuwa ni ngumu.
Me what I used to remember is that kazi ya mwanaume, the father figure, hapo ni kwenda job, provide, period. So I think right now the masculinity crisis, it's due to the shifting of the gender roles. Like right now, us as men, I can say is that we haven't yet caught up with the new changes in life, in how it is right now. Because like right now we're in a society whereby women's feelings are more listened to, or rather are more seen as a real problem than men's personal issue. And don't get me wrong, it's quite important and it's good that we see there are some organizations, we see there are some people, we see that there's a group of people who are really into trying to motivate and also inspire and also to empower women. It's actually a good thing, and it's something they should continue doing. But there's an issue whereby we've forgotten our men in the society. Like as you know from the recent, there was a case internationally about there's a man who has been abused by the wife, and the only thing that they ended up believing that man is through a video, a voice recording. If it wasn't for that voice recording, that man's career was done. So there's that forgetfulness, or there's that trying to not diminish, but to forget about the man in the society, and we end up forgetting that this man, like people think, like, for example, let's say someone can say, I'm not a man, that thing won't be an issue to me, it won't affect me, but it will.
Yeah.
Because you as a woman, for example, you have a father, you have a brother, you have a cousin, a nephew, you have a grandfather. Even soon, you'll have a son.
Yeah.
You'll have a boyfriend. If you don't have a boyfriend, you'll have a husband. So don't their mental health also matter?
Yeah.
You see, so if we don't deal with these issues that are there in the society about men, it will affect the society in general. Right now, most men are the ones behind bars.
Yeah.
Even here in Kenya.
Yeah.
Rate of suicide, it's actually the youth, and the youth are men.
Yeah.
Ndio wanajua sana. Why is that? You see, there's that problem that is there in the society. We need to fix it. Yeah. So that's my take on how masculinity crisis is. Yeah, just to add on what you said. Yeah.
Okay, for me, I can add on. You asked me at first if I can cook. Yes, I can cook. Actually, yeah, I do cook. Ina depend. In the house, if niko psyched up kupika, I'll pika, and then if I'm the one who reaches first, I'll cook also. And you touched about the traditions that used to be there, and from these traditions, hapo ndo kulikuwa na zile tunasema, like kulikuwa na zile toxic masculinity, a lot of, and I can give an example of kulikuwa na ile hyper independence, something like violence, like you're able to, you can hit your woman and hakuna kitu tutafanyiwa, it's just normal. And kuna zile pia anti-feminist behaviors zenye, like you don't recognize when a female maybe is leading you. Right now in the world, like in this country, we have an aspirant who has chosen, like various aspirants who have chosen their deputies as women. So unapata, like before, like men used to see like the man is the one supposed to rule, but things have changed. And okay, let's say pia boy child amekuwa chini kidogo, and unapata not many people are able to look up to the boy, and the boy is not able to get like a party good people around him to like choose a few characters. Wenye anapata wengine ni wenye wanapiga crime, wengine ni wenye wanapiga sherehe sana, wengine ni wenye wako yani places funny. Unaona, so mtu yeye akigrow na huyo kijana akijua na grow akijua tunaweza pigaga sherehe hivi, hiyo iko sawa. Mimi kuengage kwa crime ndio ni provide for the family, it's okay.
Yeah.
Unaona, and these are the things that are not good. And also like one of the toxic masculinity also is men not being able to open up. And being in the field of counselling and psychology, I can tell you, like, it's okay for a man not to be okay, and it's okay for you to go through challenges. And pia kitambo tungeambiwa not we ni ngumu sana uone, yani wazai wetu mtu unaona akona shida anasema yenyewe anakubali yenyewe I have a problem. But I think there are things we need to change in the future. So all in this is masculinity crisis. We don't really know what the right and the wrong. So yeah, you've just talked about also, like, you've talked about the whole thing that men, we don't know how to talk. But I came to understand from it, because I've asked a few guys, like, why would you not open up? The thing is, sometimes you open up and nobody cares. I'm like, someone will tell you, hey, when you mwanaume, man up. It's just, like, those are some of the things, like, whenever a man tries, like, to open up, either he's made fun of, or either he's being told, like, yo, man up. Well, like, it's quite sad. Like, there are two celebrities that I know I won't mention their names, but
there was one time they recorded videos crying, like, like maybe they were missing their families, like they were looking at a bad state.
Yeah.
Even, the recent one, like you can see from that man's, like he has pain.
Yeah.
You see? But people make memes out of it. Like they find it funny. But and it's not funny because you see, this is a man trying to cry out for help. We right now, how it is right now in the 20th century is not like the way it is in the 19th century. Every century has its new challenges. They might be of the same, pillars, like cause masculinity crisis has been there, but when it comes to, to how this masculinity crisis turns out in every century, it's different. How they perceived, because I remember the time during the World War I, the first masculinity crisis came out. It's because of war.
Wow.
Most men went to war, and so they left their women at home. So most women, they were not working. They were just housewives.
Yeah.
So what happened is that because the men went for war, so the women had to step up, which is a good thing. They had to step up and provide for the family because the war took so long. Someone when someone goes for war, it takes so much of their time. So you find that the women decided now to take jobs, and that's how, like, when equality started. And you see, these men who came out from the war, like it was like the men during that generation, during that century, it was like a shock because they are used to doing all these things, but now they're in a situation whereby now it's equal. Both men and women can work. So you find there are some men, even till now, there are some men who they prefer like their wives not to work. They are actually men, when they're getting married, they tell their wives, don't leave that job, I'll provide. And that's not toxic, that's a traditional man, because that's how he knows how things are. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, masculinity crisis, it's there, it has been there, but in every century it changes. And that even actually leads me to the next question, whereby I want to ask you, why is there a crisis of masculinity right now, or rather, like, we see it popping up in the modern man?
Okay, according to me, my own words is, I think some of us didn't really get, or even the generation before us, like our dads didn't get the right molding, and for them, they were transitioning. Because I talked to there's a young man, there's an elder man than me I was talking to, and he really told me about like the stages they were in, and for them it was a stage that looks at cultures, the stages they found. Then them is a stage that does not really care, it's just there. Then there's us, who, with a new society, with a new Western world, and us as Africans also, we have our own morals that we follow. And I'll take you back to the same story of this celebrity. And perhaps for him, most of the people, like, it was only the recording that made people believe. And you can hear even the lady from there saying, like, no one will believe you. You understand? And it's so funny to live in such a world that we are able to, one can just say that you guys can do, even if you say the truth, I will not believe you. So the crisis is because at times we have not really accepted who we are as men, and who we are as a society, and the society really defines who we are. So most of these times, I think we need to be able to talk with people. Me, I'll say, for men and boys, people to interact and change ideas, change experiences. Yeah.
Okay, that I agree with you. Do you agree with me also? You can see the biggest challenge when it comes to masculinity crisis. Why it's there? It's because of maybe identity.
Yeah.
Like, us men, we find it hard right now to identify ourselves right now, because there's like I'm saying, there's a gender shift, there's a gender role shift. So there's some men who find themselves, they don't know their identity, how themselves. Actually, there was an episode I did about identity with a guest of mine, some time back in the other season, and we talked about identity. And we always go through a situation whereby we try to find out who we are and how we define masculinity by ourselves. So I feel also like the identity can also be, it's a factor of why there's a crisis, because most of us don't know who we are or where we want to be. So, and I think that's the biggest challenge. Yeah.
So yeah, I think also identity, because unapata, and okay, I'll link it up to what I was saying about being molded to be of right character, and being molded into be men in a society that it may empower the girl child more than the boys. So like most of the people know, like and they also appear like also the crisis is coming because of lack of role models, according to me also. And so yeah, I think we really need to be able to be self-aware about ourselves. We need to be self-aware about our emotions too, and how we're supposed to address things as men. So yeah.
I don't know if you have personally experienced this, but if I can ask you, it will sound funny, but it's actually a serious question, and actually there's a phobia of it. Yeah. So why do people fear and distrust men?
Why do people fear and distrust men?
Yeah.
Okay, so
However, you don't think they do.
Okay. Unajua, that's a hard question in the sense that we live in a society that hapa sahii tunasema hapa Nairobi lazima upigwe character develop. Hata ile inaitwa KICD, ile Kenya Institute of Curriculum, imefanyika kwa Kenya Institute of Character Development. So I think watu wamepitia and also venye naweza sema like how people have, people in families also have seen a lot of things, and through different experiences, maybe their dads and also maybe their friends, people they have dated. Unapata maybe ulikuwa na date mtu, mnapata mko watano, but hiyo swali ningerudisha tu tena pia, maybe on another session. Pia currently men fear ladies too, but tukae tu kwa hii topic. For us, I think men, we are not, once again, we are not molded in the way we are supposed to, and unapata yani unajua we've glorified a lot of things, and maybe you're with someone and you want to be polygamous, you've not really talked about it yet, you have another family and your family does not know, but unapata ile siku unajua inakuwa ni issues, and these issues, the children are involved, and ule mtoto anagrow akijua like men are supposed to be like this, maybe men do this, men are not good, and yes, so yeah, so I think we can add tunaendelea tukiongeza.
Okay. For me, I think it's I can say I feel it's the media. The media actually portrays a bad image about men most times. Even you can see them from TV shows. Like you might see maybe a man just sits at the house, drinks alcohol, lazy, does nothing. But the lady, she's a hardworking mom. Maybe she works. Like I feel the media portrays a negative side of men that ends up making people distrust and fear men. Also, another thing is that we do not refuse, or we do not say that they are not, there are no, bad men out there that, like for example, we have had cases whereby rape cases, we have heard about rape cases, we've heard about battery, so I do not blame people when they fear, because you see, when you're, for example, if you look at someone who has experienced that, they have trauma, you don't think they can be very comfortable walking with a man. See, even let's not go far, like look at even these marketing jobs that are usually there, like for example, these promotion jobs out there, most of them have women. Why? It's easy. Women have, I don't want to say friendlier face, but people don't feel, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Not challenged. They don't feel like their safety has been, they don't feel unsafe with women. Like if a lady stops you there and asks you, I have an issue, this and this. I don't know where to go.
Sorry.
But if a man asks you, and maybe let's say the man is just, you'll be like, I know this might be a crook or my, like there's a way like people will, because even me in my class, where right now in school, we're learning about research, and the prof was like telling us that, okay, when you're collecting data, make sure you've gone with a lady. Yeah, we're like, why? So that because it's easy for people to trust ladies because, they don't feel, but for you, a man, before you collect, imagine unaenda kuuliza maswali, is a research, it can be hard. For you to collect that will be 2 times or 3 times more hard compared to a lady. So I think it's because of how the media has portrayed things, and also because of, the situations or the problems or the challenges men have brought in these situations, you see, like, GBV, and also, rape cases. So those are some of the things that have contributed to such things. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll add on you and I'll echo your sentiments. Okay, I'm also of the same motion that the media has added to that, and but also you see, all in all is we're in a society that has really empowered ladies so much that when you see a man maybe ni cashier, una feel hapana, msisizi mtrust na do yangu, because that ukienda places more cashiers ni madam. But so I think we should be able to empower the boy child, and through empowerment of the boy child, utapata like the boy will know about the good things and the bad things. But if we continue empowering the girl child more, and we're leaving out the boy, we'll continue to be in a crisis. And yes, it's not easy. It's so easy. And because you see, these same men are the same men that you're supposed to provide. Yet ladies, excuse me, there's equality. And if it's GBV, excuse me, it's both ways. There are men who are also battered by their people, and so I'm guessing, but there are positive traits that we can follow, but we can say them later.
Yeah. Hey, it's like you're reading my mind, bro. Like unaongelea kitu na ndio nataka kukuuliza. So right now you have talked about traits. So I'm going to ask you, right now we have been discussing tumeongelea negative, but kusema kweli, like as much as they are negative, they are positive also. There's a positive side. So since we're talking about traits, what are some of the masculinity traits that we as men we should retain? Because you see, when it comes to this masculinity crisis, because of the gender shift role, you see, I feel like it's leaving the negative traits, and it's trying to show us to focus on the new positive trait that we have. For example, like in terms of equality, thereby that men should understand that both men and women can work. Another thing is that women are nowadays being empowered so much that they end up even being leaders. Like a woman can be your boss.
Yeah.
So you should respect her and follow you treat her like how you treat a normal
like a
male
equal
boss. Because even in sometimes in these offices, even government offices, we find even other women diminishing fellow women.
Yeah.
Like hizi saidia mwanamke juu anaona nikata mshinda. So these things are there. But like I've asked you, what are some of the traits, the masculine traits we can retain? For me, I think we can retain strength. Yeah. I think we can maintain the strength, like be a strong man. When I say strong, I mean be a strong man mentally. Be able to have a way you can deal with personal issues. And also even strength, like if you feel like you need physical strength, well, go for it. Mental strength, go for it. Spiritual strength, it's well and good, but as a man you should have strength. For me, I'll ask in those 3 areas. Yeah, you can give us the examples that you have.
So for me, I'll say, like, okay, for strength, I'll add on your point. For strength, can add about tempered strength, in the sense that you have a gauge, you've not exceeded. si unaweka nguvu mingi. And the other thing I'll advise us is courage. Men should be courageous. Courageous enough to look for opportunities, courageous enough to face situations that come. And the other one was independence. As a man, you should be independent and you should look for ways. Hata kama hujapata job, majaliwa utapata kazi mzuri na believe, sindio? As a man, you should also be a leader. And in different communities, we find a man is considered the leader of the house. And in some other also religions, you'll find the man is like the priest of the house. And also as a man, you're supposed to be assertive. Yes, and brave. And the other thing is, as a man, you're supposed to, what I'll encourage, the traits now I'll encourage, the healthy. Masculinity is, you should address disrespect. If you feel someone is disrespecting you, address it. Ukinyamaza, you're not addressing it. And you're lying to yourself. And as a man, you're supposed to be a true person. You're supposed to be true to your people. And the other thing is, we should encourage men to express their feelings openly. Let someone talk, just listen. And msikize tu usikie venye yako. Na do that unapata, like msata za kufungua roho na ana feel at home, sindio? And the other thing is, we should encourage compassion, whereby self-compassion and gratitude. You also always give thanks. Unapataga like the male figure anafanya shughuli mingi, yeye ndo anafanya things in the house, but hajisaidie mwenyewe. Unaona, hajibai vitu mzuri and all. And also kindness towards themselves and compassion towards themselves and others too. And the other thing is, I'd advise men to check in with their friends and family and loved ones too, because at times we find men tunakuaga hata sita kujulia alinkuze mahali ziko aje, tutapatana tu tuonge tu cannibal story tu nyizetu tu. And I'd also add on listening to experiences and validate your feelings. Make sure you always validate your feelings and your emotions, pass them through. And also another, nikimalizia ni, you should also be emotionally aware and also be emotionally intelligent to be able to handle things in the house better, to be able to handle things in your life better. And as a man also, you should always seek wisdom. And the last one, and I'll finish with it, is as a man, you should have character and integrity. As a man, you're supposed to be a person of integrity, and you're supposed to be a person of character, because character is destiny. So yeah, so those are my traits. And lastly, I'll advise men also to seek help where need be. And in terms of help, I'll say like, don't just be in the house. Do different things. Enroll to clubs, enroll to trips. And also you have to take your people somewhere. And if you need therapy, make sure you go for therapy too. So yeah, and as a counselor, I'll also advise for therapy always. So yeah, those are my points.
All right. I feel like you've touched on how to resolve the crisis of masculinity. I just feel like you've just given us yeah. Would you be having any advice for resolving the crisis of masculinity? Anything
How you can resolve crisis of masculinity? Okay, me, a word in is what I had said even before is we should always make sure the way you said, one day we'll be fathers.
Yeah.
And there are people around us who are uncles, dads, grandfathers. So I would advise for the older generation to be able to be there for their young ones. Guide them through. Shikilia mtu mkono. Ukiona anakosea pahali, tell him and advise him in an empathetical way. You don't have to be so tough on him.
True.
And as women who are raising also kids as single parents, also make sure you unatafuta maybe an uncle or also yourself. Make sure you empower your boy to be a strong person and to be a person of character, because a person of character will not have this crisis. So yeah, so as people around growing with male personalities in the house, advise them and lead them through, guide them through on the right channel Make sure unampeleka maybe kuna uncles. Make sure unampeleka maybe if you're a dad, you spend time with your kid. If you're an uncle, spend time with your nephews. If you're a cousin, spend time with your boys too. And tuchanuane, because we say iron sharpens iron, as a friend sharpens a friend.
True.
So yeah.
It's very important you have a male role model figure. So it doesn't matter your age, you know, bro, you can even be my role model. Like, sure. You show me the way. Like, when I say maboy wapatane, kama nimekuze, makuzo wapatane, like, it's very important, like, men come together, talk about their issues, and also to be able to have, like, you know, like to know this is my role as a man. This is what I feel appreciated. This is what I feel it should happen. So, like what you're saying is very true. And also, me, what I can say, another way to resolve the crisis of masculinity is that what I can say is that one way is for every man to determine themselves what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
Since right now everything has changed, like, you define what it is to be a man. Do not let anyone tell you, like, oh, as a man you should do this, as a man you should do this. You decide by yourself. Because if we live in a pressure of people, we won't be happy. We'll have this problem. We'll have this masculinity crisis for life. So the best thing is, like, you just, you know what to understand or determine what it means to be a man. You decide your roles and do that. And people will accept you the way you are. That's how the world works. We are all different. There's some things you believe in. There's some things I do. There's some things maybe you believe in, I don't. And there's some things I believe in, you don't. Yeah. Another thing I can say is that men should also try and seek help. Like, look for an expert. You know, as you say, if you can't find one, you can book one online. Nowadays things are online. Since after COVID, so many things went online. People can have meetings online. We have those, meeting places on the internet. And also, lastly, I can say is also it's very important to equip yourself with knowledge about you as a man, masculinity, so that you can be able to to help yourself and help others. And also, I can encourage men out there to also try and come up with empowerment stuff for men. Have men conferences out there, not just to tweet it out, drama, to post it on social media, say men's conference, like, have an actual men's conference and talk about these issues, and hopefully the society can be invested. And if someone is trying to do that, they sponsor and help sponsor that event. Okay, so thank you so much, Mosha, for coming.
Add something.
Yeah, you can see, actually, I wanted to tell you any 2 cents you have. Yeah, you can add on it.
So for you, what you've said is empowerment. Yeah, actually, for empowerment, you find there are groups there are various groups, there are various men groups, and I'd say, like, make sure you with some people, as long as they're doing that something right. And I'll also echo your sentiments again. You said, like, you be yourself.
Yeah.
Because unajua society yetu in quotes. We say society has defined this, yet we are the society.
Exactly.
So, like, who says what is wrong and who says what is not right?
Exactly.
So challenge yourself, and from the different people that you're interacting with, only take the positive things. You don't have to take the negative things. In the sense that if I stay with sorry to say, maybe a drug addict, I'm not supposed to, like, say it's okay to be also a drug addict. I only take the positive things, and because unaweza pata kwa kila mtu, like, for each and every person, you find there are different roles, and there are different things that anafanya in a positive way that will enlighten you. So let's check up on you. And then once again, I'll say, check up on your friends also, always. Ukiona mtu amepoteza zingine social media, mwangalie, uliza, hey Myles,
bro,
ulihamia Sudan nini? So so I think that's my simple piece of word, and I really thank you for the show.
Okay.
I thank your production team too for this opportunity. Yeah,
thank you for coming, and thank you for that interactive session whereby we talk about this. And also, I can still give you another a few minutes, maybe you can just talk to a young man out there, just give an advice, just tell any man watching. It doesn't matter if it's a 65-year-old man, he's still a man and he has a right of an advice. So you can just give one or two last advice if you have any, and then we can close the show.
Okay, thank you, Myles. So I'll say, as a man, there are different type of personas we have, and what I'll advise you guys is just strive to live a clean life, strive to live a good life that as long as you... Mike. Okay, sorry. So as a man, I'll advise you guys to live well, live a clean life, and make sure you live up to your potential, and stay with people that guide you through, stay with people that correct you. Don't stay with fake people that won't tell you when you're wrong. Stay with people that make you to live up to your full potential. And if you have an opportunity for each and every, for young people around you, make sure you mentor them. Even if it's one, take one young man, mentor him. And through that, the young man will be able to mentor another person, and it will move from one generation to another, and you'll have helped a very big part. And yes, let's set good examples to people. And yes, it's also nice to always seek help. As I finish, I'm a counselor already, and I'm at Dawn Counselling Center, Dawn Wellness Center, based at Westland. So yeah, I always advise for you guys to seek help when things are not right. It's okay for a man not to be okay. It's okay for you to be able to go through some things that are going through your life. Challenges of family, challenges of the economy. Sahii kila mtu Kenya analia mafuta nini. Ni vitu normal. Na tukipatana kama men, tunaongea. So yeah, so thank you so much.
Nice one, bro.
Cheers, man.
Umeongea hapo. Alright, sasa for me, my take home will be like, I'll just even actually just, echo what he has said, because as he said, men, we should learn to talk. I understand for some it's very hard. But men, we should be able to talk about what goes on in our lives or what is disturbing us, so that you can be able to be helped. If there's any person who's gonna laugh at your problems, like, just forget about them. They're not the ones to help you, seek some help. It only takes one person to listen. I'll always emphasize on this. It's very important. And also to our society, please let's not forget the men. Let's motivate the men. Let's inspire the men. There was this one time, I can tell you, bro, through my organization. So we saw that in our community that, this kazi ya mtaa. Inaitwaje? Mtaa kazi.
Vijana mtaani.
Kazi kwa vijana. Imagine in a certain community, so many. Imagine when I think someone is supposed to to sign up for it. Can you believe that there were very few men who came up for those work? Most of them were women. So you see, in the society, the men are not being motivated enough. So we need to work on that. Even in schools, when you're in school, there are more women in school than men.
Yeah.
Why is that? I remember, I don't know, but you can correct me, but I remember there was a time when you were young, when you were doing KCPE. I remember like pass mark, your guys ilikuwa higher than girls, and I never understood that concept. But I would want to understand, but you see, actually, why should it be like that? Like, everyone has their own different intelligence. Like, if a guy cannot be able to get 350 or 300, why would you put a pass mark, sijui 360? You see, like, it doesn't make sense.
For a guy.
You see, so such things, you see, there's that, it seems equal, but it ain't equal. See, so please, thank you for joining us. We have so much to talk about, but we'll have to end there. So I hope you guys have learned something. And for those men out there who, for example, maybe want to contact or want to be helped, please feel free to contact us. even in our social medias, the Myles Show, Myles Gicheru. You can contact me also on Instagram, and let's help you. And if you want to be directed to a counselor, it's easily done. We can do so. We can recommend you a counselor that will help you. We have even here my boy Mosha. He can help. He's a practicing counselor. So if you want to be connected with him, well and good. I'm your host, Myles Gicheru. Thank you for joining us in today's episode in discussing men's mental health. And also, men, remember, as I said, this is the month of whereby we celebrate your health. So please take care of your health and live right. Thank you. See you next time. Have a good day.